So what else do you need to do as a mortgage broker, and a day in the life of a mortgage broker, and how do you ultimately become a mortgage broker? Well, in order to be able to get your CAS status, Competent Advisor status, that means that you've got to have your files checked, because once you've done your scrutiny, you have to provide an illustration or a quotation to your client that outlines everything around, you know, what that document, what the interest rates are, what the terms of the deal is, what the APR is, if there's any tie-ins, what the fees are, if there's any penalties, what they can and can't do in terms of overpayments and no overpayments. So it's really, really important that you talk and walk your client through that quotation to ensure that they know exactly what they're buying into, because you are entering into a contract. You are making the largest financial commitment in your life. And it's massively important that you have an advisor, a broker, somebody that loves and cares for you and would do for you as they would do for themselves and their own family. So actually making sure that you have that is really, really important. So once you've actually gone through the quotation, the best thing that you can do is actually reply to your broker, and the broker can ask you to say, yes, I'm happy with the quotation, I understand it, I'm happy for you to proceed with an agreement in principle. And an agreement in principle is also known as a decision in principle, it's also known as a mortgage in principle, and this is where a credit check takes place. So your mortgage broker will take the information, they will load that into the mortgage lender's system, and they will basically turn around and say yes or no based on your credit history. And part of the assessment will be going through the fact find and recording your affordability. So making sure that all of your income is correct, all of your expenditure is correct, that your loans, that your credit cards, that your commitments are all absolutely up to date. And we will do an affordability check to make sure it fits. Every lender has a different affordability. That's one of the tricky things. So in taking all of that information and giving it to the mortgage lender will then be able to turn around and say how much they will be willing to lend. And then in doing that agreement in principle, the lender will come back and say, yes, you can have that money, and you can put your hands in the air and go, woohoo! And then that means you can actually go out and buy property in the knowledge that you are going to get finance. Now, there is no guarantees at this point because it's only a credit check. Once you've found your home or once you've found your investment property, you will then have to actually go through the application process. And that application process is the next level, because you provide the solicitor's details, you provide accountant details, you provide employer details, you go through more detailed checking, and actually what your mortgage advisor will do will be to send all of the documentation that they've taken from you and provide that to the mortgage lender. Now, more often than not, people don't realise the amount of work that actually goes on behind the scenes. When you first speak to somebody, right at the very beginning of the process, it can more often than not take 21 hours of work to get them from first conversation through to actually collecting the keys of the house. 21 hours on average. And that's actually for something that's quite vanilla, quite black and white. 3 pay slips, 3 bank statements, good credit history, no major issues or concerns. And I think it's really, really important that mortgage brokers value their time. And actually what happens is once that mortgage application is submitted to the lender that's relevant and the most suitable and the best possible product for your circumstances, we then become the glue, the piece that holds everything together. We deal with the life insurance, we deal with the critical illness, we deal with the home insurance, we deal with the estate agent, we deal with the solicitor. We are the person who sits at the top, and everybody else relies on us getting the mortgage through and making sure that you get your home through to completion. So do not underestimate the value of what a mortgage broker will do for you, because everybody else can't do the job without us. So in actual fact, mortgage brokers are the elite people who make your homes and finances possible. And it is really important that you actually value the service that is being provided, because you could spend hours going out and researching. Imagine running up and down the high street and speaking to every single bank and then finding out that actually your criteria, your circumstances, your life does not meet that of the lenders that you've spoken to. And therefore you then have to go and ring every other lender off of the high street, all the little building societies, or the ones that don't necessarily have some sort of high street presence, some sort of shop, only to then find out that actually, they're not right for you either. That is what a mortgage broker will do. We have systems, we have tools, we have the ability to retain knowledge and understand your circumstances to make sure that you get the best financial solution both now and in the future. And then once that application is submitted and your home is underway, we are then going to be chasing the lender. We're going to be providing them with documentation. We've done credit checks. We've done anti-money laundering checks. We've made sure that you are taken care of right the way through. And the next big milestone in this whole entire process is about getting you to mortgage offer. And once you've got that mortgage offer, then you can do your big double woo for the fact that you are in receipt of your finance without a shadow of a doubt. Because that stage, the mortgage offer goes to you, it goes to your solicitor, and it obviously goes to your broker. And then that is the piece of the puzzle, because then it is over to your solicitor and they will take over. They will then get you to the point where you can exchange and you can actually buy the home. And the exchange is the legal commitment that you have to continue buying that property, which is then going to carry you right the way through to completion where you collect your keys. And this is the big thing. Mortgage brokers can do all of this for you. We can take care of absolutely everything in the process. We can make your life easy. We can make it simple. We can make it quick, efficient. We can save you time. We can allow you to focus on the fun of decorating your house, improving your home, getting the best interest rate, ensuring that both now and in the future you are always remaining on the best interest rate. Because I can tell you that some of the high street banks and mortgage lenders that are out there, they aren't reviewing your circumstances, because the more money that they earn, or the money that they earn, is based on the interest rate that you pay. So you will get a specific deal for 2, 3, 5, 10 years, depending on what your mortgage broker recommends is the best for you. When that comes to an end, they're better now than they were back pre-credit crunch. But there are a lot of people sitting out there not on deals. I've saved a client £900 a month before on his mortgage payment, where he was paying like 4.5%, 5%, when in actual fact he should have been paying 1.5% to 2%. And those rates are not relevant to your circumstances. They're just indicative rates based on someone's personal experience that I've dealt with. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that in order to save yourself time, to get the best deal, to get the best result, you speak to a broker, you allow them to act as a professional rather than trying to do it yourself. Because if you were going to go and get heart surgery or hand surgery, or you broke your leg, would you put a cast on yourself? Would you go and do heart surgery on yourself? Or would you go to an expert? Would you go to the best surgeon, the consultant, the person who knows their stuff and can get it done quickly and efficiently, save you more money and save you more time? That is what mortgage brokers do for you. So the day in the life of a mortgage broker, just to summarize, and what mortgage brokers actually do, is we speak to people, we give advice, we chase people, we scrutinize, and we go through documentation with an absolute fine tooth comb. We have a legal obligation to protect you and the mortgage lender and make sure that you get the best advice, that your money has come from a viable legal source, that you've paid the relevant taxes that you need to pay, that you're doing the job that you say you are doing, that your business is your business and that you've ran it for a long period of time. We've got to protect the lender, then make sure that you can pay that mortgage in the future. Now, it is the lender's responsibility to make sure that that mortgage is going to be affordable. But our job is to find you the lender that is actually going to give you the mortgage that you want. So we do research, we have a massive amount of knowledge, and ultimately we will put our hand around you, we will hold your hand, and we will walk you through the process from beginning to end, no matter whether you are a beginner or whether you're a first-time buyer, or whether you're doing this for the 50th time. Constantly the criteria changes on a daily basis. The interest rates change sometimes daily, weekly, monthly. So the value that a mortgage broker can bring to your life is huge. And what we end up doing for more than 8, 9, 10 hours of a day is sitting behind a desk, looking after you and making sure that you get the best result.